Mike is a founder and owner of Cumberland Advisors, LLC, a boutique real estate development and investment firm. Mike has over 35 years of experience in the commercial real estate industry, working in the areas of appraisal, brokerage, consulting, management, and development. Cumberland Advisors was formed in 1997 and has provided excellence in real estate development for over 20 years. Developing projects with a construction value in excess of $250 million. Prior to forming Cumberland Advisors, LLC, he was a principal of Alliance Appraisal Group, a regional commercial appraisal firm with offices in Dallas, Houston, Nashville, and Denver. He was responsible for all production and review of appraisals of office, multifamily, and industrial property types for the Dallas office, with a staff of 20 commercial property appraisers. Additionally, Mike is actively involved in giving back to local nonprofit groups, such as the Franklin Theater and Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. He served on the board of the Williamson County United Way for 6 years and served as chairman of the Allocations Committee for several years. Mike's current project promises to change the face of Mount Juliet. He's here to share with us all of his plans for the project we know now as Providence Central. Please help me welcome Mr. Mike Murphy.
Thank you. Do I need to use the microphone, or can you guys hear me? Okay, that'll be better. I'm really delighted to be here. I'm actually one of those new members. I flipped that over, and I'm impressed by the number of new members. That's fantastic. You ought to give yourself a very vibrant community here. Well, I tell you what, I want to provide just a high-level overview of what we're looking at Providence Central. I'll leave plenty of time for questions at the end, and I can dive in as deep as you guys want to. But just to kind of start on this board here, you guys know where we are. Obviously, you're in this community, but we're right here at this hotel. So Providence Central is basically everything west of us here to and just west of Central Pike. And so there's a acreage there of about 250 acres. It's raw land today. Initially, this project was zoned about 8 years or so ago. Oh, it's feedback. Sorry about that. So it was initially zoned about 8 years or so ago, but not a whole lot has happened out here because the road just terminates right here at this property. Basically, it provides access to the Creekside apartment community that was developed in 2014-ish. And so what we're looking to do is extend Providence Parkway all the way to Central Pike and tie it into Central Pike. It's about 3,200 linear feet of it'll eventually be a 5-lane road. And then doing a couple of thousand feet of Central Pike on the tie-in. So we think that that is going to do nothing but spur economic growth, provide more customers for you guys, provide additional opportunities for taxes for the city and the county that they can reinvest in the community and provide services, schools, what have you. I'm sure all you guys are well aware of the proposed interchange at Central Pike. That has been approved by TDOT. It's on the list of projects to be funded. I have a letter from the commissioner saying that they will let that contract by 2025 or sooner, and it's probably about an 18-month time frame to get that installed. So we're hoping with what we're doing, I'm getting ready to tell you a little bit more about that, we will spur the growth that will encourage TDOT to move that timeline up. So that's our hope. And of course, you probably realize also that once that gets in, it's gonna alleviate a lot of the congestion on South Mount Juliet Road and provide some relief in that regard. The first couple of projects that we're gonna do, excuse me, there's a 300-unit apartment complex, Class A apartment community that we will be doing. And then immediately following that, we're gonna be working on this town center at Providence, which is a complete mixed-use commercial town center concept with retail, office, and hotel uses. And so that's designed to be integrated, and it'll match well with the residential community that we're doing. Hopefully you'll have that synergy of people living, working, and conducting business all in a close proximity. You know, the other thing that is going to be, that I'm personally very excited about, is the dollars that we will be bringing in via people to this commercial area at what will be the first interchange in Wilson County, so closest to Davidson County. And you know, of course, it's anybody's guess as to how this COVID situation that we're currently embroiled in now is going to affect real estate and that sort of thing. But my take and what I read is that it's actually going to be a net positive for suburbs. It's going to be a net positive for places like Mount Juliet and Wilson County. And so I think our timing could not be better to embrace that. And so the benefit again is as you guys probably know, we've got a reverse commute here. So employers looking to fill their spaces, basically, they're most concerned with obtaining employees and keeping them. And so how we mesh with that is that we provide an environment that is conducive to creativity and interaction and convenience, so that those employers that locate within Providence Central in general will be able to attract people from the whole region, quickly get them in, out. Obviously, some of them are going to stay, but it's again, it's really generating dollars, and I know this crowd understands that, creating the tax dollars that are going to keep funding the schools, keep funding the services that we all enjoy. Let's see. Let me dive a little bit deeper into the uses that we've got. I know you probably can't see that, but you can see I've got some color coding going on here. Providence Central is predominantly commercial. The existing apartment complex is obviously residential, and then this new community that I'll be doing is residential. But other than that, right now, predominantly it's office, and even from a distance, you might be able to see the amount of blue on here. The blue is denoted as office space, and there's 1.5 million square feet of office proposed for the area. And then retail, we've got another approximately 1.2 million square feet of commercial retail space. So that's going to generate, again, a lot of sales tax dollars, a lot of jobs, and be, I think, a net positive for the community. Down here we have some townhomes and some residential, but you can see that the bulk of it is really commercial. We've got hotel, we can put that anywhere, that we want to. In other words, if a hotel comes in and says, hey, I want to be, right there, we can do that. This is a concept at this point that will evolve over time. To give you an idea of again, the big picture time frame, we're looking at probably a 15-year build out. So it's a massive project that will that will entail a lot of different people. It's not just my firm that's doing this. It'll be a lot of different hands in the pie here. The road, we hope to break ground first quarter of next year. It'll take about 6 months to get in. So that road will be in, by summer or at least fall of next year. And then the apartments, we'll break ground on the apartments about the same time frame, but it'll take about 2 years to get those completed. And then another year or so to get them fully leased and occupied. I have plans for some concept buildings here for headquarters that we're gonna start really in earnest the first of the year marketing, in concert with the state and local economic and community development. We hope that in 18 months we would land a anchor tenant that would enable us to break ground on the first building and get that going. This is a blow up of this commercial area that I'm kind of illustrating here. And you can see that what is going to happen is that the traffic from the interchange is going to come in. We'll have a signalized intersection here, pull people in, and then up through this, it's like an avenue. We pull the buildings up to the street. This will be heavily landscaped and pedestrian friendly. And then these buildings are retail along the front, envisioned as one-story retail. And back behind that, we have one level of retail over 2 of office, so 3 stories. And it goes back into here. These buildings are 6-story office, so each one of these buildings is 150 plus minus 1,000 square feet. And then the hotel that we envision as a marquee hotel would have about 125 rooms, something like that. So that's kind of the big picture plan for that. And then as a starting point, I've designed some buildings that this would be those 2 large office buildings. And I know it's a little bit difficult for the folks in the back, but I'll attempt to, so this is an aerial that we've kind of superimposed the town center in a 3-dimensional area, so you can kind of see proximity-wise what we're looking at. One of the things too that I neglected to address a little bit earlier that might be of interest to the group is this aerial. Obviously it's shooting east into Mount Juliet, but it shows the approximate location of Providence Parkway as it extends to Central Pike. And then eventually what we're going to do is take Adams Lane. Currently it parallels the interstate. We're going to circle that down and tee it into the Providence Parkway extension. And then that old Adams Lane goes away. The old John Hager Road goes away. They're too close to the intersection when TDOT comes in and puts that full interchange in. So basically what we're doing is taking the traffic off of those 2 and kind of pulling them down to Providence Parkway, and it'll be funneled to a large intersection there at Providence Parkway and Central Pike. So designed to handle a lot of traffic. Let's see. I also brought some of the elevations of the apartments so you can see that, and I'll talk a few minutes about that. So the apartment site will contain 296 residential units and about 12 to 15,000 square feet of commercial space. And it'll be situated along Providence Parkway, just immediately west of the creek and Creekside Apartments. The style of the architecture is, denotes an urban look. It's, the buildings are interior corridors, so they're non-breezeway. We have access points to the buildings, and then down the center of the building is a interior corridor. We're gonna put a lot of amenities into the clubhouse. The clubhouse is almost 10,000 square feet. And just to put that in perspective, you know, just several years ago, the clubhouse is, you know, like the last 300 unit community that I did, the clubhouse is about 4,500 square feet. So we're putting a lot of space in there and having a lot, we're trying to engage a lot of interaction with not only the community, but the outer community, the public. So we'll have the opportunity to have a collaborative office environment. So some of the residents that are, you know, working from home or whatever, will be able to go down there and have a safe place to interact with people, have people come for meetings, things like that. And we'll have a coffee shop. We've got obviously 24-hour state-of-the-art fitness, so it'll be like a commercial health club in there. Let's see. One of the things that we have done is promote interaction with the community. In other words, bringing our community together is having the mail facility inside the clubhouse. So people will either walk down there, park their car in front, have some interaction with other residents and so forth. So we're excited about that opportunity. And that, of course, is what builds community and not just a place to kind of hang your head. I'm sorry I don't have a better large blow-up of the site plan, but perhaps after the meeting, or you might want to look. We've got 3 buildings around a central courtyard area that will be heavily landscaped. So the amenities for that area will be obviously a large pool with sun shelf. We'll have grilling stations and then fire pit areas for interaction. We've got an outdoor volleyball court. And one thing that I'm excited about is an amphitheater. So we'll have a natural amphitheater, green space. It'll look like a park, but occasionally we'll be able to have, say, a couple of musicians or something like that. We'll have a stage for them, and everything's set up to where on a Sunday afternoon we could have somebody playing there. Another thing that we do in some of our communities is have movie night, you know, Sunday night or Saturday night. Have a movie out there on a big screen. Again, promotes interaction with the residents and community. Let's see, what else? Part of the overall Providence Central amenity space, talking about amenities, is the fact that we're going to have a 10-foot walking trail along Providence Parkway and Central Pike. So we've got a lot of opportunities for walking and interaction. We have, you know, we're putting bike trails at every building within the multifamily space, and there's also, even within the commercial, there'll be green space and park type settings. So that's kind of a big picture overview. If I could answer any specific questions that anybody has.
You mentioned that in a previous Zoom call, I think this summer, did you mention an event venue / convention center possibility? Is that the large pink? And that may be down the road, but.
No, you're exactly right. Yeah, that's what I see this as being a convention type space, for sure. That's just on there. We've got the ability to do it, but that's obviously obviously it's gonna be market driven. But this is, you know, and one thing too, you probably realize it, but some of these aerials really highlight the fact that what I'm really excited about is, probably can't tell this, but you know it from driving the interstate. If you're coming from Nashville driving east, you're staring right at this office node for several seconds. And so it's gonna be a great corporate headquarters facility. It's gonna be a great opportunity for signage, to have somebody's name out there. So that is, kind of ties in with that, you know. So it's gonna be a marquee hotel that'll also have a really nice location to do that. And again, with the accessibility that new interchange will bring, that's only gonna enhance the feasibility. One of the things that I kind of skipped over also was the fact that this interchange is, that they've got two designs that have been approved, they being TDOT. But one of them, and the one that seems to be in most favor, is what's called a diverging diamond. So so it works both ways. So when you're here, you get off work, you take a right here, and you don't stop. No traffic signal. So you start accelerating and you're gone. In the morning when you come in, you're all the way here before you have a signal, and then you're into the space. So it's designed to take a lot of traffic in and out of this area quickly, which again will only benefit the area, because people from Davidson or wherever they're coming from that, you know, choose not to live in Wilson County, they're going to get in, kind of be localized right there, and then get out.
Is there any plans to develop further past on Central Pike? Because if you've ever driven that road, it's pretty windy and hilly. Are they going to expand that further out to connect with South Mount Juliet Road?
Excellent question. And actually, the plan that TDOT has for the interchange is broken up into 4 separate projects. One is the actual interchange, you know, the bridge and the system right here at the interstate. The other is from that point, which is basically, you know, a few hundred feet from the interstate down to South Mount Juliet Road. So the answer to your question is yes, that will be done. The other thing that will be done is improvements from the intersection of Central Pike and South Mount Juliet Road up north, because, you know, obviously until you get that expanded, that there's nowhere for the traffic to go.
Where you hit Publix and Zaxby's where it
Exactly.
bottlenecks in and there's.
Exactly. And so,
Take that in.
you know, again, I don't have this on my map, but you guys realize the importance of Central Pike as it relates to the regional transportation plan going down to 840, and just the, you know, how much traffic that road really carries. And so, yes, the state fully intends to, this is the state's plan to alleviate and facilitate traffic to and through this area. The other part, the next part, takes the Central Pike from the interchange all the way to Old Hickory Boulevard. And so that's, you know, so when all that is done, it's going to really enhance the, you know, the facilitation of traffic through here. Yes, ma'am.
The park that you're talking about, is that in conjunction with the apartments? Is that gonna be open to the public? You say you're gonna have walking trails and bike trails and an amphitheater. Is that just for the residents of that apartment complex, or is that gonna be open to the public?
Well, we have both. So the amphitheater and dog park and volleyball, that sort of thing, that's gonna be an amenity for the residents. And yet we do have trails that are all gonna be all along this is, you know, this is over, by the time that you come down to where we are now, it's about, you know, 4,000, almost a mile of Providence Parkway with that in. So on one side, it's gonna have a 10-foot wide trail. The other side of the street is gonna be equipped with a 7-foot wide, sidewalk. So those will all be open to the public, and obviously the commercial space will be open to the public as far as walking and that sort of thing. We do actually have a public park that's located, I don't know if you can really see this, but at the southern portion of our project boundary, there will be a public park there.
How big is that, do you know?
It is probably a couple of acres.
I'm on the Parks Board, so I was just curious.
Oh, okay.
Just asking.
Okay.
What-
Yeah,
and
it's-
To
yeah, it's
that,
probably-
Tina, I was thinking that top right corner of there between Adams Lane and the main road, I didn't know if that was any plans for further development down the road, because that looks like a big, beautiful spot of land right there.
This area right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's prime real estate right there. That is actually part of Providence Central. Providence Central, like I said, it's about 250 acres. And I'm working with the family that owns the western portion of that.
Okay.
So, that is part of Providence Central. It's zoned just like, this other part, which is, CMU, office, retail. Yes, ma'am.
Will the townhomes be available to purchase or just rent?
They will be for purchase. That will be a few years down the road because we have to get to that area. If you see kind of the far southwest quadrant of our property there, we have to extend that 5-lane road down to it. So this area will start to develop with commercial first to kind of fund that road, kind of provide the economic incentive to put that road in. But yeah, eventually those will be for sale.
The anchor business that you were talking about, is that, are you thinking more retail or business for that?
The anchor tenant that I was
Yeah.
mentioning, well, I was kind of alluding to a corporate headquarter office type user. So that's really our focus. That's one of the things that we understand that the city actually wants to embrace is more jobs, more white collar employment, and that coincides with what we want. So we're trying to facilitate that, but we do have some retail down in this area of our project that would house big box retailers, and so we would definitely love to have those conversations, and we probably will. And that actually, I don't know, I didn't really lead with this. As soon as we got our zoning approvals, which is really reapproval, we've just modified this plan. The original plan had same uses. We've just kind of updated it to reflect a more contemporary development style, which is mixture of uses, not office here with all your parking and then a retail building here with all your parking. We've kind of, it's really the current development style to integrate those uses, and so you have the synergy of those uses, and you also have the savings in parking spaces when you come and park once and you're able to do that. But yeah, the retail is something that we're seeing interest in now. I'm getting calls from individual owners that are looking to purchase land and develop, and then we're also fielding calls from larger development firms too that now are interested in investing in Mount Juliet with us. So it's exciting.
Mike, got a question. On the retail on the front from your office space, you have a real life, real world example you can give what you see vision, the retail area, the walkability. You have somewhere like that we may relate to?
Yes, actually I do. There is a development in Cool Springs called the Meridian. And I don't know if anybody anybody's familiar with that, but it's adjacent to 65 at Cool Springs Boulevard. It's just south of the Primus corporate office space. So I don't know if you're familiar with Cool Springs, but that's where that is, and CHC is one of the anchor office tenants there. And they have this kind of, what I'll say is an avenue type feature. Another one would be McEwen North, currently being developed. Mitsubishi is anchored for that. The land planners that did those two projects is Kaiser Bogren Design, and they're doing my land planning for this town center. The civil side is my engineer, very capable engineer, but we've got a really first-class team, and some of those designs you can see in other areas of Nashville. Yeah.
Mike, you talked about the connection and the improvements on Adams Lane Plaza on the south, but aren't there some things that you need to do that the city requested on where Adams Lane Plaza ties into Mount Juliet Road at Waffle House?
Yes, actually, there are some improvements. When we put this new Adams Lane extension in and then take the old Adams Lane out, we have been asked to do some road improvements at South Mount Juliet Road, a couple of turn lanes, and extend the throat of those turn lanes as well. So, yes, we'll be doing some improvements in that area. Any other questions? Well, I really appreciate your time, and I'm excited to be here and excited to grow along with